Hello, welcome to Travel with Suri. A prison isn't usually a tourist destination, but this one in San Francisco is a major exception. Touring the historic former prison is an unusual experience, but it is a one I would highly recommend for anyone curious about what life was like as an inmate or officer here years ago. Welcome to the famous Alcatraz Island, San Francisco, California. The only way to get to Alcatraz is by ferry operated by Alcatraz City Cruises. They are located on Pier 33 on the Embarcadero near the intersection of Bay Street, just a bit southeast of Fisherman's Wharf. The trip over to Alcatraz Island is just 15 minutes each way. Most visitors spend approximately 2 to 3 hours total for the duration of the trip and tour. Alcatraz Cruises return ferries leave Alcatraz Island roughly every half hour from the time of arrival. I strongly recommend making advanced ticket reservations. During high season, Alcatraz day tour ticket should be booked at least 2 months ahead if you want to be sure you can get tickets. Upon arrival to the island, you will disembark and find a crowd has amassed outside Building 64. Also known as residential apartment, this 3-story ex-prison officer accommodation was the first building to be built on Alcatraz. A park ranger will explain all important information for your visit. Alcatraz was a military prison in 1868 and a federal prison from 1933 until 1963. It may only be 1.5 miles to the mainland, but due to the strong currents and cold water temperatures, it is almost impossible for prisoners to escape. The island was officially named the Island of the Pelicans by Spanish explorer Juan Manuel in 1775 after the strange birds that inhabited it. It remained largely unused until the first Americans arrived in 1848 and John Fremont bought it. In early 1850s, the island was declared a military reservation by President Millard Fillmore. In 1854, the West Coast gets its first lighthouse built on this island. In 1969, a group of Native American activists called the Indians of All Tribes arrived on Alcatraz. Red Power on Alcatraz, Perspectives 50 years later tells the story of their 19-month occupation of Alcatraz. This one is very interesting. It is Alcatraz inmates' daily routine. In late 1850s, Alcatraz is turned into a fort just before the Civil War breaks out in 1861. In 1867, a jailhouse is added to the island's buildings, and Alcatraz various iterations of housing criminals begins. In 1868, the island is officially designated a long-term detention facility and incarcerates all types: prisoners of war, military and private citizens accused of treason, Confederates, and many Native Americans. In 1907, Alcatraz is named the official US military prison of the West. The island served as a federal prison just under 3 decades, 1934 to 1963. It is most famous today because of its notorious inmates and its treacherous location, the swift, cold bay currents and surrounding cliffs making escape nearly impossible. After the prison closed, Alcatraz was abandoned until 1969 when a group of Native Americans claimed the land as Indian territory. Their hope was to create a cultural and educational center for Native Americans from all tribes. Unfortunately, the small group of leadership couldn't control the damage that occurred at the hands of near 100 occupants to the island. Everything from graffiti and vandalism to a fire that destroyed several structures. Because of this, federal marshals were brought in to remove them from the island in 1971. The Alcatraz Island lighthouse was the first lighthouse on the west coast of the US. It rises into the sky at the southern end of the island. Main prison is the most important and famous block in Alcatraz Island. Each cell in B and C block was 5 feet by 9 feet. Cells at Alcatraz had a small sink with cold running water, small sleeping cot and a toilet. Most men could extend their arms and touch each wall within their cell. Prisoners were purposely fed on rich, fatty foods with plenty of bread. All this food combined with very little exercise led most prisoners to be unfit and overweight, making that 1.5-mile swim even more difficult. This was made even worse by the fact that prisoners were treated to luxuriously warm showers, meaning they could not become acclimatized to the icy temperatures of the sea. The Alcatraz dining hall was the eating space for the prisoners and staff at Alcatraz. Congress established the Golden Gate National Recreation Area in 1972, which included Alcatraz Island among several other areas. The island officially opened to the public in 1973. I strongly recommend to make the reservation to this famous island, and once the reservation is confirmed, then book the flight to San Francisco.